Yo, what's up?
Welcome back,
back
guys.
to the podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well.
This is the 17th episode.
Is it?
We know we missed one, but
Yes, we apologize for that because when life hits you, you have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Well, first of all, Farhan was really busy with college, and I kind of forgot about it. I'm not gonna lie. I totally forgot about it.
Well, we wanted to record anyways, after what was it? I think it was Wednesday, but we decided not to because
it's just too late.
Yeah. Plus, this episode it was gonna take a lot more. It took us 4 hours just to get ready for this. Plus, just today, 4 hours.
4 hours plus a 1 or 2 more days.
Yeah. So
it's
hopefully you guys enjoy.
Just just a fair warning. This episode might be long. Plus, so that's why you should, I don't know.
Also, another thing, don't take this seriously at all.
Absolutely not. This is just, just for fun.
It's not it's not actually
experts
believing 100% in this.
We just did a small research on the internet.
Or agree with any of this. This is just what was kind of interesting.
Okay, CIA sucker, calm down. They're not gonna come at you. Jesus. This man's so scared to talk about.
Hey, bro, you never know.
Just the FYI, he wasn't gonna do it because he was creeped out about
it. Okay. I didn't want to do it because the shit that we were about to talk about is kind of sketchy.
It's sensitive weird, too, yes.
It's weird to talk about. So
it's even weird to fucking learn about it. So sit back, relax, and grab some snacks because this is about to be a long journey. This podcast is about to be spicy. Because we did our research. We told you guys we're going to do a research. We're going to bump up the quality of our podcast.
Factual stuff.
So, okay, no bullshit. No, hey, how you doing type shit this week. We going straight to the point.
Well, there is a little bit of bullshit because...
it's 3 a.m. bullshit. That's good. That's a good one.
Another thing. This is right after 3 months.
True, and it's almost been 4 months. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's been 4 months. This is the 18th.
Yeah, it's been more than 4 months.
Yeah, it's been 4 months in 1 week. Crazy. Oh yeah, today marks 4 months and 1 week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you so much for the support. Even though we're kind of declining, but it's fine. We got our hopes up. As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, we're not gonna waste any time. It's 3 minutes. So, all right. So this episode is So first of all, I want to say how we started it. Hold on, I gotta give credits to the man who made this the YouTube video. Jorge? Is that his name?
I forgot his full name.
Okay. Blame it on Jorge.
Right.
You can go to his YouTube, look it up. We'll probably put we'll put the link on it. We'll put the link
I'll put the link.
Description of YouTube and Spotify. So if you want to watch it, just click the link and he will talk about everything. It's a 15-minute long video. But let's briefly explain what happened. So this is a video. Go ahead.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
So you can correct me because I'm not that educated on this as he is.
For sure.
But this is pretty much a cult, I guess you can call it. So there's 2 guys get caught with 6 kids in their bus.
This is in the 80s of Tallahassee.
80s, yeah, in Florida. And then they were in really bad shape. They're hungry. They didn't eat anything. And when the police asked what they had, for in the whole day, they just said nothing. And then what was the last thing that they ate? They said that raw vegetables and fruits. And
that was what's found in the van: vegetables and fruits.
Yeah. A lot of other weird things, but we'll get into that later.
This is just a brief explanation.
Right. And then when the police asked what was going on, the 2 guys, they're in their mid-20s.
Yeah, 20s.
They said that they were their teacher. They were the kids were 2 to 7 or 6 years old. So some of them couldn't even speak proper
English.
Any language.
Yeah, they weren't. They were not normal kids to start with.
Right. And then when people asked them what they would do, they said that they would play games. and then do
Yes.
whatever
Not people, the investigators.
right, yeah, and then said that they would play games
You kind
and
of
do
jumped a
whatever
lot,
the
but it's fine.
game master would say. Well, this is just a brief explanation. I'm not trying to leave them hanging,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
and
It's
then
the main
they
point,
get
yeah.
they go to jail because very sus, and then
Well, they go to jail for like what, a couple of months.
less than that. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty
But-
sure, yeah. What was
but
that?
the-
Solitary confrontation, whatever it's called, where they
Right.
like talk to them. That's what it was. It was in like prison.
Yeah. And then they, after like a little bit, like after time passed, like a little bit of time when they were in jail, the police had to like let them go because they didn't have
Any solid evidence?
any
against
hard evidence against them, right? And when like the police asked those guys or whatever, they just said that they were their teacher,
Yeah.
and then they were like they were all about like a survivalist lifestyle or something
Mhm.
like that. And
First
then
First of all, they weren't like when they were first caught. They weren't
Mhm.
like the police wasn't educated on the cult side of the thing. They thought
Right,
this is weird. This is like probably like pedophiles, you know.
Mhm.
But when they learned more about it, they contacted the DC police, and they were like, "Holy shit, we've been looking into this for like a couple of months."
yeah,
And they learned more about it. They learned that their headquarters are in DC, and it's in DC and I think Virginia. Was that Virginia?
Mhm.
And yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna clear that out. That's it.
yeah, and then I'm just reading like an article right now
Yeah.
just to like quote to quote some stuff where when they went to the so the thing, I guess the cult, I guess you can call it, it's called the Finders.
Yeah.
And then like some people called 911 in the Washington apartment. And then when they went to the location, two men in their 20s had whatchamacallit?
Kids.
Yeah, right, the kids. And they were all like dirty, bug bitten, and underfed, and they were like living in a van. And then when they asked where they were going, like, okay, they said the teacher. I'm sorry, I'm repeating a lot of stuff.
Yes. So,
It's
just
it's
to clarify.
it's very confusing. It's very confusing.
Just to clarify. Yeah. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
And then they said that they were going to, Ohio, right?
No, they were going to. Okay, so there was two stories. When DC police was called from the Tallahassee police headquarters, they were like, "Holy shit, we've been looking into these people," and then they found the tracks because when what were their two names? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, we did our research, but we're not good at it. Sorry. Fucking hell, man. Come on. Something. Okay, Michael Hollowell and Douglas Ammerman, right?
Yeah.
So these two were found with the kids in Tallahassee, and when they were interrogated, the kids said they lived in an apartment, and it was an apartment with more kids, and there was a couple of women and a lot of adults, men.
Right.
And when they were asked
20 adults and 7 children around the time.
Yes.
Like, this would be
Exactly. And when the kids were asked, they interrogated, like what they were doing, the kids said certain things, like they played games, and there was a person called the game caller. Was that his name? Hold on.
It was the game caller, yes.
Yes, the game caller, whose name is Marion Petty. We'll talk about him later. But wait, hold on. Give me okay. And there was like other games that was really sketchy, and we'll get into that later. And also, they found that Marion Petty is an not ex-con, I was about to say ex-con, but no. He's an ex-military / special force officer who started this cult in about the 60s or 70s, who thinks that...
That's our guess, that's not the...
Well, they've been operated... Okay, so when they were caught, this was the 87, right? 1987. Yeah. And in the future, we're gonna talk about this. In the future, when the the ex cult members, when they were interrogated, they said this has been going on for 10 to 15 years.
Mhm.
So, if you just
We're assuming
back
60 or 70.
yeah, 60s and 70s they started it. So it's a cult based on survivalism and a new quote unquote a new way of life, right?
Right.
So for the viewers or listeners, you already know where this is going. This is some weird shit. But okay, so do you wanna? Is that all they need to know for now, or do you wanna like talk more about it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I already like gave them a lot of spoilers, I guess, but
Yeah.
you should continue.
Okay, so what happened was, obviously, I'm gonna repeat a bit, and then I'm gonna get onto it. In 1987, 911 was called in the Tallahassee. The kids were caught with 2 adults, and there was 2 stories basically. Till DC, when the headquarters were found in DC of the kids, they were obviously not researched. They were searched. They found clothing of kids. They found camera gear. They found a room where they called it the video room. Right? It sounds sketchy, but I guess the police didn't think it was sketchy, so they went back and they researched. And the person of the head of the research committee or whatever it's called, investigation committee, he researched about it. He learned more about it, and then when he asked the neighbors of the apartment, they were like, oh, the kids are really dirty and they're always surrounded by men. And and the neighbors, I'm pretty sure they quote this, that they were so dirty that it was noticeable at times.
Mm-hmm.
And when
just to give you an idea of the time, I guess.
Yeah.
So the police went to their apartment in 1986, December.
Yeah.
And that's when
none of these was public. This
right.
is before mainstream media got into the story.
Right. And then the 2 guys in the van was caught in 1987 in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tallahassee police contacted the DC police, and the DC police said that, holy shit, we've been looking at these freaks, quote unquote. Yeah. That's what they said. So like that's where these 2 connect, I guess.
Yeah. And so the second okay, I'll get into that later, but the headquarters, they found that there's 2 headquarters, right? The police headquarters in DC, they found that there's 2 headquarters of the founders cult. One is in like a farm area, I'm pretty sure in Virginia, Maryland, something like that. And one was in DC that they already searched. So they get a search warrant. They go to the Maryland farm area. It's a big farm, and there's a house. It's in the middle of nowhere, and they find the same things, video room, clothing, weird stuff, and pictures. They found pictures in the apartment too, but as of this report right now, well, at that time, the first report, they didn't find any nudes. In the farm room or farmhouse, they found there's nudes, there's pictures of kids doing the quote unquote game, there's pictures of women, there's pictures of sheep getting slaughtered with there's 3 men wearing white robes, right? Goats and sheep, same thing, It looks like the cult type stuff back in the 80s, Satanism. So they go back, they get all the evidence, they research on it, they find out that the leader of this cult is called Marion Petty, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I explained it before, he's the ex special force officer who started it. And so from here, this story goes in 2 ways. One of the defendants and one of the claimings. You know what I'm saying? So the claimings are the people who claim that this is connected with CIA and everything. And the defendants, they're like, oh no, this is normal shit. We just this is cult. This is our thing, I guess. This is nothing that big. And this is where it gets interesting, because when they, I'm pretty sure they interrogated Marion Petty or one of the cult members, and they said the plan was to go from DC to Virginia.
Kentucky. No, to Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Wait, from Kentucky?
No, to Kentucky,
Okay.
from DC to Kentucky.
My bad.
But it was pushed back a little bit. No, they wanted to take the kids to Kentucky and put them in schools.
Yes.
And stuff like that. But it was pushed back a little bit. So the two quote unquote teachers took them on a fucking vacation to Florida.
In Tallahassee.
And
this is where the story splits, because
that's where
when
get
they were caught
right?
in Tallahassee, they said they went to Mexico. But the members are Mary and Petty. I'm not sure who said it. The first idea. Oh wait, no. The person who said it was what's his name? Oh my god, dude, the guy who's in disguise. What's his name?
Robert
Terrell, whatever.
Robert Terrell.
Robert Terrell. Yes, he's the ex committee. He's the ex cult member, and he knew about this thing, right? And his story and the two person who was caught.
Bro, his picture looks scary as fuck.
Yeah, dude, I know the disguise picture. Yes, it's really scary. His story and the two people who were caught, their stories didn't match up. This is where this like the whole case gets interesting, right? So the investigation committee member who was leader of the investigation, he was supposed to meet another investigator or somebody who had the evidence or something like that, right? When he was gonna meet him, this is a bit far into the case. I think we skipped a bit, but I don't think it's that important, those information. When he was gonna meet the other person with the evidence, he didn't show up. A third person who showed up said, "You are off this case from now, and this case is under CIA control." Right?
Yeah.
FBI got off this case. Fucking DC police got off this case. Tallahassee police got off this case. Just because one person came into the fucking case and said, "You're off." Right? And that was...
Okay,
go ahead.
Let me pause it. Before this,
yeah.
Robert Terrell came to the police station, right?
Yeah, okay. Wait. When Robert Terrell was interrogated, that's when the mainstream media got the note of it.
Yeah.
Before that, and nobody knew about this.
Right. Well, people knew about it.
Mainstream media.
Mainstream didn't know. So Robert Terrell said that it was normal. The goats were already slaughtered, and and then he said that all the parents and moms gave permission to the teacher.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, right before this, Michael Houlihan and the other person who was caught, they obviously they didn't have enough evidence, so they had to let them go. You know what I'm saying? One of the reasons was because what's his name? Robert Terrell? Yes. Because Robert Terrell said, they're just okay, so Michael Houlihan, this is what Robert Terrell said. Michael Houlihan is stepdad to one of the kids in the van, and he is the biological dad to one of the kids.
Yeah.
But my question is, why didn't... Okay, I don't know if DNA testing was a thing back then, but if it was... Okay, wait. Let me check.
I'll check.
Okay.
You keep talking.
My question is that if DNA testing was a thing back then to prove that, you were the dad or you're the mom, why didn't they check that?
1986, so... That's when it was first used.
1986?
Yeah.
If it is an FBI involvement, how were they not checked? That's my question. You know what I mean? Because FBI, this is literally, they're the big dogs of investigations. Come on. So they were let go because of what Terrell said and how he defended the cult. And after that, mainstream media picked up, and they only this is what mainstream media did. They only focused on the satanic stuff, satanic panic.
Because that's what was popular in the 80s.
Yes,
right?
that was like the satanic panic time, and like in between like the 80s, 70s till the 80s.
Rock music and stuff.
Yeah, everything was going on at that time, like the hippies and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened, and then after that, we can continue.
And you keep. I'll start.
Okay.
At a point.
Yeah. All right, bet. So, after Terrell, what's his name? Yeah, Robert Terrell. Okay, so when Robert Terrell, obviously wasn't disguised and came to the media to talk about it, he obviously defended the founders cults, and he said a lot of people. One thing he said was a lot of people were hiding, all over the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Because of the mainstream media. They don't want the attention, right? But that is not the main point. I wanna get into this. So when I said this story goes in two ways: the one of the defendants and the one of the CIA ties, right? This is where the CIA ties start. So the first time when I said, in the van they found, what did they found? They found the food. They found the kids, obviously in a bad situation. What did they found? They found clothes, yes, and just normal stuff, right? Books and everything. This is the second inquiry or whatever. Or not whatever. This is the second. What is it called? Paper investigation. I don't know.
I guess.
This is the second version of that, right? They found a few radios. They found boxes containing clothing, fruit, vegetable. That's normal. Chinese English dictionary. A pack of Trojan condoms. A brown canvas bag containing photos of children, some nude. Computer programming discs, and a piece of paper titled "The Ballards of Ballards." So, that's the second part of the story. This is where the CIA ties come in, right? Right after when the first investigator was kicked off of the case because CIA came in, this comes out, right? And right after this, the kids were investigated or interrogated, and they said they explained some of the games. Some of the games, it was one of the games was taking off the jacket or taking off clothes from the men. This is what the kids did, and I think run around with it. Oh no, taking the jackets off of the men and then go in their pockets and then take something out, something like that. And there was another one where they have to like run around with a cloth and then put a hole in it and something like that. It's really weird. It's really what's that word? Eerie, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the kids, he or she explained, Max, yeah, it's a he. Max, one of the kids' name, he explained that sometimes, okay, this is where the apartment is, because they live in the apartment in DC. Sometimes women would come down from the second story or upstairs fully naked, no clothes on, right? So this combined with, the pictures of the children, some nudes, Trojan condoms, like how, like, this is where the YouTuber, he said, how were the first two the first two who were caught, Michael and whatever Houlihan, his last name. Yeah. How were they let go when there was so many evidence from the police department of Tallahassee? Like, how? There's condoms in a van where there's 2 adults and 6 kids. There's a Chinese dictionary which will come into play later in the future. We'll talk about it. And then few radios, and then programming discs. Okay, so few radios and programming discs. This links to the next thing I'm going to say now. At that time, when the Tallahassee police was recording this whole investigation, right? There's a kid, a university student, who is University of South Florida, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, Florida State University, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He found a small computer. Obviously, computers weren't like that small, but a computer by a phone booth, right? He thought he could use it, so he took it home. He turned it on. He found programming stuff. He found coding. He found a lot of information about the Tallahassee police, right? This is okay. So this kind of backtracks a bit because this is before. Wait, no, this is before. This is after. I'm pretty sure this is after Robert Terrell came out to defend the founders, right? So he found the computer, a normal kid at the University of Florida. Oh yeah, University of Florida, and he finds the information about Tallahassee police recording about this whole founders topic. And when he found the computer, he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna turn it in to the police department," as he did, right? They found more stuff about it. They found more programming. They found more disks, and they found that this computer was communicating like internationally, like worldwide.
Right.
So they did more research on it, and they found out that this computer was they figured out that this was connected to one of the person in the cult, but they didn't name it. They didn't name nobody, right? So they did more research, and they figured out that this, or they didn't figure out, they speculated that this is a human trafficking organization or something like that.
Yeah.
Because so one of the things they found in the van was a paper called the Ballad of the Ballards, right? In that there was housing. There was named houses from Miami, Tallahassee, and upstate New York, and other states, plus international, right? Like Japan, China, and Hong Kong, and in Europe, I'm pretty sure some from Europe, right? So they seem sketch, and right after that, they found in the computer that this computer was used to communicate internationally, right? But they didn't know what they did. So they did more research, and they found out that, or they speculated that the Finders cult, I don't know why, man, like, how they had, at first they found video rooms, photos, and other evidence of child trafficking, right? But they still didn't report it. I'm like, okay. And now they find this whole PC computer in the 80s that communicates internationally, and they still did not clarify that, or clarify anything about the Finders cult with like, wait, how do I say this? Clarify anything about the Founders cult being a child trafficking organization.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, man, it's eerie to think about how government can just cover up shit, you know what I mean?
And then, like, another, I guess, important point is, like, there's, like, hundreds and thousands of papers on this, right? Like court documents, and then, all the papers that, like, legal papers and shit.
Yeah.
It was, like, most of the names and everything, it was all, like, blurred out by CIA.
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, like, obviously, there's things that are going to be redacted, like, that should be, like, some sort of, I guess,
like, they want you to know, but they still want to keep some stuff classified.
But the thing is, things that were redacted were, like, something that shouldn't be, that should be public.
Sure.
If the case is in public, like,
the case is basically public, but some main things that's like
the words,
keeping the case from
the names of people,
the names,
some
of the descriptions,
right? Yeah. Like, and another thing is, in the papers, there's like another like a paragraph where they blur out the word the CIA while referring to them as CIA. They blur it out, they redact it, but on the FBI's version of it, yes. That word isn't, like, redacted.
That's weird, man.
You can clearly see that, and you should, like, obviously, like, if you're interested in this, you should definitely watch the video.
100%, because
that
I'm not gonna lie, we're not doing this video justice, right?
No,
we just thought, definitely not. But we just thought we just want to talk about it.
It's a really interesting video.
Extremely interesting, yeah. Okay, so back to the story. One of the things that that was hidden till now is one of the interrogations that was done with the children, right? And the oldest kid, it was a girl, and she Max, the 5-year-old kid, and the 2 or 3-year-old kid, I forgot his name, but they all showed signs of abuse, right? They didn't have any signs of penetration, but they had signs of sexual abuse, like in the back, on their butts, and everything. Also, one of the things the girl said, or the girl knew, was how to count to 10 in Chinese, right?
Alright.
And this goes back to the van thing that they found. The second part of the van, where I explained they found condoms, they found compact discs, and programming stuff, everything, right? They had a Chinese dictionary too, right? And they had a Chinese, this all connects. They had a Chinese dictionary in the van, and the oldest girl, she knew how to count to 10 in Chinese, right? And the other tie that links with this is remember when I said the PC, it was communicating online basically.
Mm-hmm.
They had they had the PC, and they found papers in the headquarters in DC and in Maryland, or yeah, in the farmhouse, of basically what are these called? Not receipts, orders, right? Orders of nothing specific, but they all came from internationally, like Japan, China, Hong Kong, and everything. One of the papers was from Hong Kong. I mean, not Hong Kong, China. This links to the thing where I'm talking about the girl knowing Chinese, right? The girl basically barely knew English. The girl knew Chinese. There was a Chinese dictionary in the van, and there was a quote-unquote order thing from China, and it was in the PC too. How are you not going to tell me, after all these evidence, they still let them go? They still didn't speculate anything.
That's like, that's obviously the big thing.
Yeah.
But they had papers on how to like make bombs, kidnap people.
Yeah, they literally had instructions.
Instructions, right? What else was it?
Hold on.
Like how to like keep, like, I guess, manipulate people. How to buy people, like how to buy people on the market.
Yeah.
And how to trade them.
Oh yeah, the trading thing. Yes, exactly. The trading thing.
That is like
after all of that, like, how can you not speculate that they're at least a human trafficking organization?
That's like if you go and see like a guy with a gun walking into a school, and they're like, "Oh, what's up, man?" and then just walk away. That's what pretty much they do.
Exactly. They're ignoring the fact that's right in front of their faces. Alright, so the story. So this, now what I'm going to talk about is when the Department of Justice comes in play. Right? At first, they didn't want to get into this, but they had to, because it was escalating really quickly. But this is 1990, and by the time they get in, the news broke out that, okay, so before this, the satanic thing, it kind of went away, it kind of faded. But after just Department of Justice came in, the news broke out that they are investigating this whole thing, this whole human trafficking, find this cult, whatever, under the genre of conspiracy, right? And one of the main leaders of this investigation, I think J. Martinez, something like that, he said a lot of information was kept from the public, or kept from publishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the, hold on, okay. So the private investigator, okay, my bad. There's a private investigator and that worked with Martinez, and he claimed that the U.S. Customs offices were they were told to not get involved with this investigation by CIA. And he also said, or not him, he quoted one of the senior officers from the investigation party, that he said a lot of this information are gonna be like, kind of messed up, you know what I mean? Messed up, and they said this, the senior officer said this might be a CIA operation, because I mean, it kind of makes sense, because all this going on around the end of Cold War, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't. It's kind of weird, sketchy, it's eerie. But also this claim of CIA being involved in this, and this is being a CIA operation. This went up to the Congress. 2 congressmen actually read about it, but they were quote unquote too confused to make a decision. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Here's another thing that, well, I guess we kind of missed, is the Ramirez guy, right? The investigator.
Yeah.
He kind of inferred, or I guess said that it was like CIA,
Oh, and who was the Ramirez guy?
The investigator.
You mean Martinez?
I'm sorry, Martinez. The different one. But like, they were trying to say that it was the CIA, right?
Mm-hmm. But when they did, they got cut off.
Right. And here's like, this is me defending CIA. I'm sorry about the mic. This is me defending CIA.
Mm-hmm.
it could have been that the Finders cult was actually a cult, and then the um Martinez, right?
Yeah,
He was in the cult as well, and he and others in the same cult or persuaded with the same cult or people,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, put CIA on the line to get publicity slash
A distraction, kind of.
yeah
Okay,
distraction.
that's a valid point. Yes.
Yeah, because you can't just that's a big
It's a big claim. It's a big claim,
right?
Yeah.
You can't just claim that. I can't just say something,
I know what you're saying. Like, you can't be like, "Hey, CIA did it." No, you have to have valid evidence for it. Yeah.
Right.
No, I get that. All right, go ahead.
I feel like that's what the video didn't really go in depth because I guess they were against the CIA, but if you really think about it, this is all conspiracy.
Yeah, of course.
And
this whole story is conspiracy.
Right, because there's no you can't because the leader is dead.
Yeah.
Petty.
Well, now he's dead. At that time, he wasn't.
So you can't really get the answer.
That is true. Yes.
Proper answer. So you just have to pick your side,
Yeah, depending on the evidence, you just have to pick your side.
So this is just my side that I don't trust CIA at all, but it could be true. And a CIA, one of them said, and I quote, "You're going to hear a lot of bullshit on the Finders because they lied. They're dysfunctional adults, but they're all working their asses off. They're constantly working on some project. If you have a cult, the best way to control people is to keep them busy, to keep their minds occupied. If you have people standing around doing nothing, then they start thinking." That's very
damn, yo, what the hell? I mean, that's true. Yes. Wow.
And
go ahead.
I didn't think about it until I read this little part on the Vice article. We'll link this too because this is a really good article.
Oh yes.
That shows.
I highly recommend you guys to research onto this thing because obviously, personally, I really love these kind of topics. Conspiracy, murder mystery, investigation.
By the way,
go ahead.
There's a conspiracy theory that the word conspiracy theory was made by the CIA. That's what you call
the fuck? Yeah, that's what you call a perfect distraction.
No, it's actually true though.
That is kind of mad.
Yeah, that's where I got the JFK thing that I was talking about. But yeah.
But yeah, let's get back to the story.
Okay.
All right. So back to the story. So as you know, Agent Martinez, he was told by the CIA that this is a CIA matter now. That was a bit before, but this kind of connects to what I'm gonna say now.
Let me just finish it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Properly.
Yeah.
So the Martinez and his partner in the investigation, Ramirez, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
So they were supposed to meet up to review the information that they got and the evidence they got, but the Ramirez didn't show up. Instead, the CIA
that's when the CIA
officer
popped up. Yep. That's exactly what I said before.
Right. And then
they were like, "Oh, this is not your matter. This is CIA matter now."
Yeah. So you should
literally, FBI got off it, and CIA took handle of it. And FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, federal. It's only USA. They don't fuck with international. CIA fucks with international shit. So this is not just US. This has to be outside of the US.
Another thing that the video didn't really go in depth in was the China thing, and the whole Europe, the Europe thing,
the international thing, basically.
How are you gonna have if someone can't even speak proper English and they know a different language,
and also those kids
not even connected, that should indicate that there's something going on.
So many sus things that's going on, bro. And plus, those kids, I forgot to mention this. Those kids, they didn't know what they didn't know what full course meals were. They didn't know what hot water was. Literally, they didn't know
They
what hot
didn't
water
know.
was.
They didn't know
They was
like
not-
basic stuff.
Yeah,
They didn't
they
know a
was
lot
not
of
up
basic-
to. They weren't like what is it called? Like they were basically backdated for that age. You know what I mean? Because as a 6-year-old kid in the 80s, that means you're with the generation that's going on at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you
You
should
shouldn't
know
be back then,
cereals
obviously.
and stuff like
Like,
that. They
yeah.
didn't.
They only knew they were malnourished because they weren't fed any kind of meat. It's only vegetables and fruits, and they were only fed when they accomplished some task. You know what I'm saying?
Some task, right?
Yeah. So okay, back to the story. What I was saying. When Alex got, not Alex, Agent Martinez, when he got kicked off the case, when CIA took it over, one of the claims was that CIA was they had a corporation, or they hired a corporation where they sent CIA officers to train there for computer stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that corporation was contacted, and they said yes. They did train CIA operators, and also one of the reasons they trained it was because code by the corporation was CIA owned the Finder's Code as hold on, let me go to the article. Give me 1 second. And Finder's Corporation. Okay. This is code from the corporation. The newspaper also said from the corporation, a police document on February 19 from 1987 quotes that CIA agent said, "The Finders Corp is a future enterprise for training in computers for the CIA operators." Literally, they claimed they own Finders Corporation, but then they also go to say, "Oh no, it's not." Yeah. Also, right after that, they said this exactly, quote, "A later customs report says that CIA admitted to owning finance organization at the front of training operation." Goes back to the other quote that I said right before this. And, okay, let me repeat that. Admitted to owning finance organization as a front of the training corporation, but that had gone bad, right? Take that as you will. That had gone bad, and the whole fucking country is finding out about the cult, Finder's cult. You know, it kind of matches up. You know what I mean? It's kind of, man, like, the power the government have over is mad. They can cover up anything, literally anything.
Like we were talking about the Bohemian Grove a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago. And that was really interesting because apparently, I don't want to get into it right now. But
actually, let's wrap this up. So there's other information too, but that's gonna take way too long because
it's gonna take
hours. The whole video is a whole hour long.
Yeah,
this has to be like a 2-hour episode to explain the whole thing. But one of the last things, so in 1987, I'm gonna wrap this up with this explanation. In 1987, when the ex-members were investigated, they said one of the last things they said was, "This whole cult has been here for 15 to 20 years, and they've been practicing how to manipulate and be invisible for 15 to 20 years." And they also said, "You're never gonna find them." So, does the cult exist to this day? They might. Where are they? They're among us.
Among us. And another thing that I wanna put it out there, I guess. Well, I guess I already did a little bit, but I just want to end it off with this: that it could be just the cult, bullshitting, but I'm just gonna quote Vice right here, and they said you can poke holes in either side of this conspiracy theory if you set your mind to it. Exactly. And maybe that's just how Marion Petit, the leader of the cult, would have liked it.
Well, I mean, man was smart. He literally taught them how
You would have to be smart to control a whole cult.
Basically, yeah. This man was in a whole different level.
No. So you would have to be smart if you could convince a bunch of mothers to let their kids go with 100%, people.
Literally, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, man, it's obviously, if you guys want the whole information, we'll put the link, put the Vice link and the YouTube link. You can go watch it. It's extremely interesting. I highly recommend you guys watch it and get into these type of things. It's really interesting. But man, like, what a story, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. What was your take like on
my
it?
take on it.
What do you think? Right, yeah.
I like, my take is obviously it's a CIA tie. It's not, if it's not a CIA handled, it has CIA ties, but not directly, because this kind of goes back to the Epstein pedophilia, Bill Clinton, all the big boys.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to that, because this could be a fuck up from the big boys, like the billionaires, millionaires, or who likes to play with boys for some reason. This could be a fuck up from them, and they were like, "Oh fuck, we don't know what the fuck to do, so we're just gonna let CIA handle this, right?" It could be that. It could be a distraction. You know how government use distractions, right?
Yep.
False arguments, false accusations, and everything. But this could be one of the biggest. If this is a distraction from the government, this could be one of the biggest distractions of all time, because this can lead you in different ways. One can be, you can take the CIA way. They're handling the whole thing. They own the finance code and everything. You can go like, oh, finance code, just normal, just the finance code, like Robert Terrell, what he did. You can be like me, what I said, like it could be a distraction, or the big boys fucked up. There's so many ways. It's really hard to point out exactly where this leads, but I mean, it really depends on how you proceed to see or look at the evidence. But I mean, if you look at the evidence, it's clear that this cult is kind of weird. Not even kind of, it's weird. Like, they should have done more research on it before Marion Petty, quote unquote, died. I'm not sure if he is dead, but they claim it.
My take would be, it's either a really smart cult that kind of made CIA look like the bad guy, and I guess wanted that because, like, at the end of the day, the cult want more people to join their beliefs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So
that
was a big exposure to their brand.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
The satanic thing, they really boosted up their...
Yeah, like, and another thing is that why would the two guys just randomly park their van in a park
with 6 kids playing in the playground?
Right, exactly.
And they dressed up with suits, and the kids dressed up like homeless kids.
That's like
oh wow, I never thought about that.
30 IQ shit right there.
Not even 30, that's like negative 10.
So like, that's something to think about. And if that's not the case, it could be, as you said, a hoax, a distraction, or it could be, which I think is I think it's either the really smart cult, or it has something to do with
the big boys,
CIA experimentation. But that gone wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what they said.
I think that could be a big thing.
It could be. It could be. I mean, I don't know, man. This is a really sensitive / really interesting topic that you really have to look into to like talk about. We did our research, but we definitely didn't dig deep enough. We definitely stuttered a lot. We're really sorry about that. You're probably bored by this time. Probably not even here by this time. But I mean, if you are, thank you so much for listening to it.
Yeah.
And if you guys do want more of these kind of like interesting mystery type, conspiracy type topics, like to give our takes on it, 100% we can do it, because I love these kind of topics.
Yeah, and obviously this is 4 a.m. right now.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
we're just talking about something that's interesting, and I guess not funny, but
it is really interesting to learn about.
Interesting to learn
this
about.
This is a whole different podcast.
It's not like we're like serious believers in this shit.
No. This is at the end of the day, it's a conspiracy theory. It's nothing serious.
We're just trying to get the best.
We're just trying to have fun and talk to you guys about interesting things. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you guys liked it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share our stuff. If you really like it, share our stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guarantee we're definitely not the best at it, but we're doing better. And if we do miss another week, please forgive us because school is hard.
It's hard, right?
It's hard, yeah. Also, like online, it's irritating, but hey, we have to deal with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, guys. Good night.
Yeah. See you guys on the next episode.